Okay, so this build is called Skyborn. The purpose of this build will be to do as much damage as you can without touching the ground. Now for this build, you will be required to use the Tempest class, and the class that you choose with Tempest should be one that has a strong passive ability. So the three that I would recommend are Scholar, Scavenger, and Frostborn. So for the Skyborn build, you're going to want to put every skill point you get into the Tempest tree. Now, the passive for Tempest makes you immune to all of your tornadoes from the Wind Gauntlet. Even if they're elemental, you will not take damage and you will fly to the top of the tornado. The first skill in the Tempest tree is called Slipstream. This one will increase your mana the longer you stay in the air, and after 3 seconds of touching the ground, your mana will reset. Now the Squall skill will increase your damage the longer you're in the air. Now it increases your damage every time you attack with any gauntlet in the air, up to a maximum of 5 stacks. After you touch the ground, you will immediately lose this damage buff. And the third one, Sudden Gust, increases your sorcery cooldowns the longer you stay in the air. So as you can see, the Tempest class is generally aimed towards making you stronger the longer you stay in the air. Okay, so I'll just show you quickly what the skill points are going to do for you while you're in the air. So for Slipstream and Squall, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you will see my mana bar. And you'll see the longer I stay in the air, the more mana I gain, maximum mana, and you also gain part of your mana bar back, a certain amount, while you're in the air every second as well. And if you also look above the mana bar, you will see this, the 5 blue squares. Those are the Squall stacks, meaning I have 5 of them. So my damage is currently buffed by 50% because I have 3 skill points in Squall. Now also, the sorcery cooldown will be a lot faster while in the air. If I stand on the ground, it's just going to go down a 15-second countdown, whereas if I'm in the air, it speeds it up drastically. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys some attacks and combos that I will use with this build. Again, you want to stay in the air as long as you can to increase your max mana and keep your max damage stacks as well. So for this build, you're not going to be in the air all the time, generally just when you're in combat. So what I like to do is if I see an enemy and I'm going to engage, if I'm close enough, I'll start charging up my Squall stacks by attacking them with wind. It was something that looks like this. So I will just charge my Squall stacks while dealing damage. So probably the most fun sort of combo slash attack that you can use with this build is maintaining Squall stacks, so preferably 5 stacks, and sniping people as much as you can without hitting the ground first, and dealing insane amounts of damage. And if you have your Slipstream on as well as your Squall, you can pretty much keep yourself in the air permanently for the most part. You can use your Tornado as well to keep yourself up. And you will be two-shotting almost anyone by doing this. So the next combo that I use quite frequently is mixing in wind with fire. So your base fire damage, or a legendary fire damage with the Behemoth Amulet is going to be hitting 4 times. Now if you have maximum Squall stacks, you're going to be able to hit 79, given that you have this equipment. Now if you want to mix in some wind shots with that, so if I charge a few Squall stacks and a fireball, a couple more wind shots, another fireball, and keep doing this, your fireballs are going to do crazy damage, your wind is as well. You're going to be able to block their fireballs while dealing insane amounts of damage at the same time. Okay, so I'm just going to show you guys also how you can deal damage with your Tornado and how to use it. So you're generally going to be using your Tornado to keep yourself in the air or escape enemies by launching yourself up in your Tornado. But to deal damage, you actually want to use your tornado near somebody and then throw in a fireball or a toxic slap, and you will actually do tick damage on your opponent. And especially with toxic, you're going to be dealing lots of damage, and it's very worth doing, very worth keeping in mind. So one last tip that I want to give you guys with this build is you will find a lot of the time when you just have 1 point in Slipstream, or even 3 for that matter, that you're going to run out of mana eventually, even if you're staying in the air. And when you do, you're going to be on the ground recharging your mana. So if somebody's like 1 HP or 1 shot and you want to finish them off, you actually don't have to wait for that to go down. What you can do is run out of mana, and you can actually jump, and every time you jump you're going to gain enough mana to hit them with 1 more attack, possibly 2. It's going to keep charging your mana, but this way you can finish off low HP opponents without having to wait for the full charge of your mana. So before I end the video, I just want to go over quickly the items I recommend for this build. So Behemoth Amulet and Epic Amulet of the Slayer are going to be the 2 amulets that I recommend, as they give you more damage. They give you a % damage buff. I'm going to recommend the Legendary Belt of the Berserker to give yourself more rune charges, as this build requires you to be very mobile, so you want as many rune charges as you can. As for runes, Blink and Shadow Step I think are equal in this build. Shadow Step is very good right now, especially if you're going to be using ice a lot. You might even want to take Shadow Step over Blink, but mainly Blink is probably going to be your go-to. So before I move the video on to gameplay footage of me using this build, if you guys have any comments or you want to see more of these guides in the future, please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys learned something from this. Peace.